Welcome to all. I'm T.Y.B.Sc. Here we are going to learn some properties of petrochemicals. Last time we learned about the calorific value. Today we are going to learn the ignition temperature. Ignition temperature means the minimum temperature at which a substance catches a fire and burn. It's called its ignition temperature. The substances will not catch fire and burn if its temperature is lower than its ignition temperature. The different substances have the different ignition temperature. For example, the ignition temperature of kerosene is less than the ignition temperature of the wood. The substance which have low ignition temperature and can easily catch the fire with a flame are called as inflammable substances. For example, petrol, alcohol, LPG and the CNG. Here there are the number of factors which affect on the ignition temperature are nature of the fuel, next combustion environment, third is presence of moisture, and fourth is size and shape of the experimental vessel, and the fifth factor is the particle size and presence of the foreign material, etc. Okay, here you can say in this picture these are the cylinder and the petrol, diesel which having a different ignition temperature. Okay, what is ignition temperature? That means the minimum temperature at which the substance catch the fire, that is called as a ignition temperature. You must have to remember this definition. Okay, always ask the examination. Next is what? Next important definition is what? The fire point. Fire point, that is, it is a lowest temperature at which the vapor given off, the vapor which can be given off by oil, ignites. Fire point, that means the lowest temperature at which the vapor given off by the oil ignite and continue to burn for at least 5 seconds. The fire point, the test is continue until the application of the test flame causes the test specimen to ignite and sustain burning for the minimum of the 5 seconds. The most cases the fire point is 5 to 40 degrees Celsius higher than the flash point. It gives the idea about what the fire hazards during the storage and also use of the oil, where we use the oil which can be find out by finding their fire point. Here the temperature at which the oil vapor will catch the fire and continue to burn. Both flash point and the fire point are used to detect the dissolved impurity much more volatile than the bulk of the oil. Okay, this is about the fire point. Next definition is what? The viscometer. Here it is, this is a Sebolt. This is, you can see in this picture, this is the Sebolt viscometer. This is used to determine the viscosity of the petroleum product at specified temperature between 70 to 210 degree Fahrenheit. The stainless steel made the Sebolt viscometer is supplied complete with two interchangeable orifices, fuel and universal oil bath, electric heater and digital thermoregulator, stirrer, cooling coil and viscosity flask. These are the some apparatus which is present in the Sebolt viscometer. The thermometer are not included and must be ordered separately. This is the property of lubricating oil. It is expressed in centipoise. Here, the Sebolt universal viscometer is generally employed in a petroleum industry. It is expressed as a number of seconds required for 60 cc of the oil to run through a standard orifice from a cylinder filled to a definite level at a standard temperature. This is about what? Sebolt viscometer. You also define this or understand what is the viscometer. Okay, this is useful for to determine the viscosity of the petroleum. Okay, next is what? The coke number. It is defined as the number of carbon or amount of carbon deposited by weight sample of oil in a standard apparatus under a standard set of experimental condition. Better the grade lubricating oil have, the lower coke number. What is it? It is defined as the number of carbon deposited by weight sample of the oil in a standard apparatus under a standard set of experimental condition. This is about the coke number. You have to mug up only the definitions. Okay, there is no need to any explanation of this uh, definitions. Okay, then this is only for your uh, definition or understanding purpose. Next is what? Flash point. What is a flash point? Here, this is the lowest temperature at which the liquid gives off enough vapor to form a ignitable mixture with the air, but which cannot be catch the fire. What is a flash point? It is a property of a liquid fuel like gasoline, kerosene, petrol, alcohol, etc. It is defined as the minimum temperature at which the sample of a fuel oil gives off enough vapor. It gives off what? Enough vapor that catches the fire but does not continue to burn. Okay, they only catch the fire but not continue to burn in presence of air by the naked flame or electric discharge. That is called as a flash point. Okay, here the flash point of the ethanol is 57 degree Fahrenheit. At this temperature, this only vaporized and only catch the fire, not continue the fire. And here this is the standard home fuel oil. Flash point is 125 degree Celsius. 125 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, this is about the flash point. Next here, the cracking of petroleum. What is the cracking of petroleum? That is, here the cracking is a process of converting heavy oil with higher molecular weight hydrocarbon to the oil with a lower molecular weight hydrocarbon, which is known as a gasoline. Cracking is a process of complex organic molecules such as kerosene or heavy hydrocarbon, which can be broken down into a simplest molecule such as light hydrocarbon by breaking of carbon-carbon bond in a precursor. The rate of cracking and the end product are strong dependent on the temperature and the pressure of catalysis. Therefore, here the cracking is used in petroleum chemistry to describe any type of splitting of the molecule under the influence of heat, catalyst and the solvent, such as in a process of destructive distillation and the pyrolysis. That means on the pyrolysis process, here the cracking is a process of converting of heavy oil with the higher molecular weight hydrocarbon to the lower molecular weight hydrocarbon. You can see in this picture here the decane, that means the carbon having a 10 carbon number molecule hydrocarbon are called as a decane, which on cracking or the pyrolysis, that means the breaking of this decane, there is a formation of the two small hydrocarbons, that is N-pentane and the uh, N-pentane and N-pentane. Okay, that is called as a cracking of petroleum or the pyrolysis process. Here these are some types of cracking is there. There are mainly two types of cracking. First is thermal cracking and second is the catalytic cracking. Thermal cracking includes the liquid phase or the vapor phase, and the catalytic cracking includes fixed bed or moving bed. Okay, let me learn some cracking chemistry. That is, a large number of chemical reactions takes place during the cracking process, most of the based on the free radical. Okay, most on the base of what? These free radicals. The That's why let's we learn the step involved in free radical cracking reactions. The first step is what? Initiation reaction. Here we learn the free radical cracking reaction mechanisms. First is what? The initiation. In this reaction, the single molecule break apart into two free radical. Here we take the example of what? Ethane. This ethane, which on homogeneous catalytic process, or homogeneous breaking, homolysis process, there's a formation of the methyl free radical. This is what? Methyl free radical. Okay, here then after formation of methyl free radical, next process is propagation. In that process, what happen? In this reaction, the free radical removes hydrogen and from the another molecule, turning the second molecule into a free radical. What happened here? This CH3 radical, which remove the hydrogen of the molecule, and there is a formation of the CH4. Okay, and there is a formation of another radical, that is CH3 CH2 radical, that is ethyl free radical. First there is a formation of what? Methyl free radical. Okay, here this is what? Methyl free radical. In next, in propagation process, what happen? This methyl free radical again react with ethane, then it abstract the hydrogen from the ethane, and there is a formation of the methane and ethyl free radical. Okay, then next process is radical addition. That means what happen here? This radical which on abstraction of the hydrogen or removal of hydrogen, there is a formation of the ethyl and hydrogen free radical. This hydrogen free radical further react with the another ethane, and there is a formation of H2 and again ethyl free radical. Okay, next what happen here? The termination process. Here what happen? In this reaction, the two free radical react with each other. Then termination process, two free radical are react to each other to produce a product that are not free radical. The two common form of termination are recombination, where the two radical combine to form one larger molecule, and disproportionation, where one radical transfer a hydrogen atom to the other, giving a alkene and the alkane. What happen here? In the termination process, two free radical which is react to each other, and there is a formation of the long chain having no any free radical. That means two free radical of the ethyl which is combines together, and there is a formation of what? Methane molecule. Also here this two radical, one radical of the ethyl and the one radical of the hydrogen, which is combines together, and there is a formation of the ethane molecule. Okay, these are some mechanism of the free radical cracking process. Disproportionation process, that means this is a combination of the all this mechanism. In that what happen? This CH2 alkene which is reacted with the free radical, there is a formation of what? Methane free radical, methyl free radical. Then this two methyl free radical which is reacted together, and there is a formation of the two types of the molecule. It may be the formation of what? The methane and the methane compound. Next is this ethene which is reacted with the CH3 free radical, there is a formation of the ethyl free radical. And last is this CH3 propyl free radical, the two propyl free radical which is combines together, and there is a formation of propene and the propane. This is the mechanism of free radical cracking reactions. Okay, thank you very much for watching this lecture. Here today we are learn what is the cracking process and mechanism of the free radical cracking reaction. Also we learn some definition like ignition temperature, flash point, fire point, Koch number, and the viscosity and the viscometer. Thanks for watching this lecture.